This is our second RV, and we've been traveling full-time in it for over 15 years. We do our best to take great care of it, and it's been very reliable, but we've had bad luck with refrigerators. This is our third one. We started out with a typical bi-fuel propane electric RV fridge and then switched to a residential model after about 6 years. Refrigerators can be a real challenge to replace because when RVs are manufactured, they generally install larger components before they put the walls on. Once it's all closed up, it can be difficult to get anything inside that's very large out again without taking extreme measures. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Here's how we've dealt with 2 refrigerator replacements. Our first fridge suffered a catastrophic failure after about 6 years of use. We'd had a lot of trouble with it already, and repairing it or replacing it with the same type was going to be expensive. So we figured if we were going to spend a lot of money anyway, we might as well get betterment. So we decided to make the switch to a residential fridge. The cost of customizing the compartment to hold a slightly larger unit, plus buying a residential fridge, was less than the cost of a new RV fridge because they're so expensive. We had it done professionally, and that included removing the front windshield, since, as I mentioned, now that the walls are in place, there was no other way to get the old fridge out. We figured that while we had the opportunity, we'd get the largest fridge that would fit. The windshield was out anyway, so it didn't matter if it wouldn't fit through the front door or a side window. That was great for about 8 more years. Then we started having trouble with the residential unit. It thought it was warmer in the freezer than it actually was, so it never stopped running. That not only used a lot of power, but kept it down around 20 to 30 below zero, even when we had it set to the warmest setting. After doing some research and getting input from a couple of professional technicians, we tried to fix it ourselves, of course. We replaced the temperature sensor in the freezer compartment, since that was the most likely culprit, an inexpensive thing to try and very easy to access, right through the open door. When that didn't work, the next thing we were advised to try was replacing the main circuit board. The only problem is that it's only accessible from the rear of the fridge, which of course meant we had to take it out. Our fridge sits about 8 inches above the floor, which means we can't just roll it out into the kitchen. If we tried pushing it to the front of its enclosure, it would fall forward without some kind of support, and getting it back in would be a nightmare. To avoid the risk of anyone getting hurt, we bought the wood required to build an 8-inch high platform that we could roll the fridge out onto. We included wheels on the bottom so we could roll it out into the room to work on it. After removing the screws that secure the fridge into the RV, we pushed it out onto the platform and rolled it into place so we could access the back and replace the main circuit board. Unfortunately, after all that effort, it still didn't correct the problem. So it was time to call a professional, an authorized Samsung technician. Of course, with the fridge out of its enclosure, it allowed him to access the entire unit. He tested everything, couldn't find any problem, and declared our fridge dead. Fortunately, while all this was going on, we happened to be RVing with our friends Tom and Kate Morton. Since they're now our fellow co-hosts on the RVers, and they've shared a lot of their amazing electrical installations on their YouTube channel, it won't surprise you that Tom offered to see if his electrical engineering skills might allow him to create a workaround to fix our mystery problem.
So the second part of how I actually installed this battery was
After studying the circuit board and the schematic, he soldered a potentiometer onto the board that we could use to manually adjust the temperature that the circuit board thought the freezer was at. It seemed to work great at first, and while it didn't keep things at the ideal temperature, it did keep our food cold enough and stop the freezer from sucking down all our power by trying to reach absolute zero. We made it across the country like that, but the mystery problem reared its ugly head again, and we made one last attempt to fix it by calling in a second factory-trained professional tech to see what he could do. Once it was determined that the fridge was beyond help, it was time to end 5 months of stress and just replace it. But we'd installed a large fridge 8 years before because the windshield was out, so we didn't have to worry about fitting it through the door. This time, we were eager to avoid the cost and coordination required to get a windshield installer to remove it for us, again. So how are we going to deal with this? First, we decided to sacrifice a little of our food storage capacity by getting a slightly smaller model this time, hopefully allowing it to fit in through the door. But what about getting the old one out? Here's what we did.
We seem to have had a wild accident here and the door flew off. Yes, that is the door to our RV. That normally goes over here. And we have taken it off for the first time in 14 years because we are about to replace our refrigerator, and this is our only shot of getting the new refrigerator through the door.
You know, when I said I wanted a more open floor plan, I didn't really mean take the door off and make the RV more open.
Oh, this isn't what you meant by open concept?
No, not what I had in mind.
Luckily, we're here with Tyler from Tough Top Awnings, and he's got the muscle, the tools, and the know-how, and the willingness to help us tackle this. Okay, now we've taken the door off something else here, and that is our new refrigerator. And we hope it's going to go through the door. We're going to find out. This refrigerator is smaller than our current one. It's counter depth, so it's not as deep. It should fit through the door. Will it go? We're going to have to kind of come up and in an angle from down below like this, because the door has a bend in it right here that gets too narrow for the fridge. So I think the seat may be in the way. We don't know yet. The TV may be in the way up there. We don't know.
I'm definitely in the way.
Off the ground. Okay, nice and slow. Oop, that's my thumb. Oop, that's my other thumb. Yeah, baby! Well, we got the new fridge in, and the old fridge is out.
Ish.
So we now have probably the fanciest rig on the road because we have 2 full-size refrigerators.
Like I said before, I think we have an eating disorder.
I think so. So this one is not as deep as the other one. This is a counter depth.
17.5 cubic foot. 19.8, I think, was this one?
I think
Roughly 18 and 20.
Yeah, it's about 2 cubic feet smaller. And this one has given up the ghost. And now we've got
our nice custom built platform here with the wheels that only go in this direction.
Yeah, I think we had shown that months ago when we first started this project.
Exactly. Well, we still have this.
Yeah, we kept this all this time knowing that the fridge might not make it. And
here was our temporary fix.
This temporary fix kept us going for months. Thank you, Tom Morton.
Yes.
That potentiometer. However, it finally simply...
Something else is failing.
It is just determined to fail. So, hence the new refrigerator. So, we did manage to just get this in the door, as you saw, without taking the windshield out.
Hooray!
But it fit with like within an inch of its life. What about this thing? What will we do?
Exactly.
Oh no! Stay tuned. When this refrigerator was installed in here, it was not the original. We originally had an RV fridge. And the shop that put it in put this bracket on the back here, was bolted up under here and to the back with these large screws. We have just removed it and we are going to transfer it to the new fridge so we can keep the new fridge from flying out when we make left turns. That should be good. Getting the doors on the new fridge.
Looking good.
Place looks like a bomb went off in
It
here.
does look like a bomb. It looks like a bomb went off at a refrigerator factory.
I'm telling you. I can't wait till this is done. It'll be rewarding, I think, if it works. All right, we have done the incredible Houdini swap. Somehow we managed to get
Presto changeo.
this old refrigerator down off our platform and got the new one up there. Look at that. That is the brand new fridge. It is 2 inches more, well, 2 inches less deep than the other one. And what we need to do is get that bracket attached to the back there.
Which basically, it has a bolt that holds it up here in the center, which thankfully Samsung has a consistent manufacturing process where that hole exists on apparently all their refrigerators.
Yep, we will bolt this to the back there and slide the fridge into place.
And then these holes here are where the screws hold it to the floor so that it doesn't slide out of the opening.
Yep, it's going to be exactly as it was before.
As you can see behind us, we've gotten everything out of our living room. Our dining room table's folded down, the coffee table's out, and the only thing we still have here is the old refrigerator.
Yeah, the new refrigerator's installed, and you can see that went in beautifully, no problem. But now we have to figure out how we're going to get this old refrigerator out of here, even though it's too big to fit through the door. Oh, somebody's here. Hey, it's Tyler from Tough Top Awnings. What's up, Tyler?
Ready to make a mess?
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Besides removing the doors, shelves, and other pieces, we had a service tech evacuate the refrigerant from the system, which has to be done before disposing of a refrigerator. Be sure to check your local regulations before disposing of a large appliance.
Well, we've gotten this thing completely stripped to the bare bones, took absolutely everything out of it, and I think we're almost ready. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we are. There's just one more thing we need.
So we know Tyler is really excited about the idea of chopping this fridge in half. So we want to make it even more fun for him, kind of like opening a gift. That ought to do it. So Tyler, how did that feel? Was it as satisfying as you thought?
Yeah, that was fun.
Good. All right. Look at that.
That's like a plan.
Let's get
Look
this
at that.
piece out first.
Okay. Set this aside.
Yeah, it's pretty sharp metal.
Yep.
But it was a hot night for the boat.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And you can see, basically the wall of the refrigerator is a layer of metal on the top, styrofoam insulation, and then the plastic lining on the inside. So there's not much to these things.
What are you gonna do? Lay it on his back?
Dump it.
So slide it and throw it on its back. One more half.
Good.
After all the aggravation with this refrigerator, that is a sight for sore eyes.
So it probably goes without saying, but don't try this at home. We play trained professionals on television. Seriously, we'd been working on trying to repair this fridge for months, and it wasn't going to happen. And in an effort to avoid taking our windshield out, we decided to have a little fun with it for your entertainment. So seriously, don't try this at home, but share this with your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
We know this isn't a typical DIY project, but we hope that if any of you ever have to deal with something like this, maybe you'll get some ideas from what we did. As always, safe travels, and thanks for watching.
Okay, we're over the hump.
How's that?
That's good.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, and I want you to push toward me, and I'm going to make sure this thing stays stable.
Okay, stay away.
Go ahead. Keep coming. Keep coming.
Okay,
Hang
we're
on.
clear.
Keep coming. There, now we can work on it.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
Look at that.